Joining me now is Congressman Joaquin Castro of Texas. Congressman, this is what migrants had to say to an NBC correspondent on Friday, right after the judge made his ruling. Let's take a quick listen.
I'm nervous, this father says. I can't believe I put my family in danger. As this mother from Colombia, who left her 2 kids at home, fights tears. Pleading with President Biden, give us an opportunity. We want a better future for our families, she says.
Congressman, what's your reaction to what you're seeing there?
Well, that's heartbreaking. And there's so many people who are suffering and in dangerous and oppressive conditions that made in places like Mexico and other places that are dangerous. And, you know, people often talk about this idea doing it the right way, doing it the legal way. But it's important to remember, seeking asylum is the legal process for entering the United States. And so this ruling and the rulings before it that have had an injunction or created an injunction on doing away with Title 42 are actually breaking the immigration system even further. In other words, they're making things even worse, and it is going to be harder to fix because of it.
But, you know, Congressman, though, let's look at the numbers, because some pushback you're going to get on this idea of lifting Title 42 is the fact that you're currently looking at 8,000 encounters a day at the border. When Title 42 is lifted, they're anticipating 18,000 a day. Do you think there's any type of credibility to their argument that the idea of this is really a public health issue because it's going to put such a strain on the surrounding states that are going to be taking in these migrants?
Well, 2 things. First of all, the Trump administration ostensibly put Title 42 in place because of the pandemic. Well, mask mandates and other restrictions related to the pandemic have now been lifted. So there's no health justification related to the pandemic to keep people out. Besides that, you can vaccinate people, you can quarantine people, you can test people, you can put masks on them and take other safety steps. But also, the reason that the numbers are so high and that you see increased surges is because when somebody tries to come to the United States and plead their case legally and seek asylum and they get rejected, summarily rejected and sent right back, what they do is they try again 2 or 3 times. So that's jacking up the numbers of repeat encounters at the border. So that's a big part of the problem. In other words, Title 42 is creating its own problem of forcing people to come back over and over. And another thing that it's doing is it's incentivizing these very desperate parents who have young kids with them to send their kids on their own, because those kids who are alone are actually being allowed to apply for asylum in the United States. And so it's got a very perverse incentive to it that way.
In April, a record high number of migrants tried to cross the southern U.S. border. More than 96,000 were expelled. What kind of message are we sending as the United States out into the world by expelling migrants as they're legally trying to make their asylum cases to immigration officials? But then we're also opening our doors to, for example, the people that are fleeing Ukraine and the war in Ukraine.
Well, I think that it sends a horrible message to the world, because the United States had always been a leader when it came to at least giving people around the world who are oppressed, who are in violent situations, a fair chance at seeking asylum. And by the way, we've also asked other nations in Europe and around the world to take in asylum seekers, because the world right now has experienced the most migration that it's ever seen since World War II. So what the world sees is a country, the United States, that says, hey, you all need to take in these asylum seekers in your own nations, but we're unwilling to do it ourselves.
Is there a backup plan, though, if Title 42 is lifted? Do you think DHS actually has the capability to process the number of migrants that could be attempting to gain asylum to cross the border into the United States?
Sure. Secretary Mayorkas and DHS now have had plenty of time to come up with that plan. Congress has passed extra money. The White House and the administration to come before the Congress and spell out exactly what they need for an orderly process and to build out capacity. But bear in mind, the reason if you do see a surge, and it's quite likely that you will, is because Title 42 has created that surge by creating a huge bottleneck unnecessarily. And so, in a sense, the problem created itself.
And just hours before that Louisiana federal judge made his ruling on Friday, NBC News reported that the Department of Homeland Security didn't have enough money to deal with the potential migrant surge at the border if that Trump-era policy was lifted. Congressman, is it really such an easy fix for Congress to just provide more financial aid in this case?
Well, the administration should come forward with a request for the money that they need. Now, I think Congress will take a look at that request and vet it. You know that for years we've been fighting things like kids in cages, for example, the expansion of detention beds and other things. But if the money is meant as a capacity builder for the orderly process of migrants and to deal with a surge of hope and to be able to get them to their family members while they await their asylum court date, then it's something I think the Congress will consider.
Briefly, I only have about 30 seconds left with you, but I did want to ask you what you think is now going to happen. You know that there's this legal process that's going to happen. I mean, what do you think is going to be the immediate impact from that ruling we got from the judge on Friday?
I think that Title 42 is being used as a way to squelch the politics of immigration, to not have to deal with it. Unfortunately. And, you know, so there's going to be a lot of people that continue to suffer on the other side of the border. They're not going to be able to apply for asylum in the United States. And many people in this country are just going to see no evil, hear no evil, and pretend that they don't exist.